Maybe let me tell you a story about how we started working together. This happened a couple of years ago when I had already been doing quite a lot of presentations, but I felt the need that I could get even better, I could sharpen the skills, and I needed to figure out a way to actually make the presentations even more impactful. What happened is that Ianka actually had the opportunity to see a couple of my presentations. She was just in the audience. I had no idea where she was, I had no idea, but she was there to see what I was doing and what impact that had on the audience. And what happened then is she put me in a theater, a completely empty theater, and I felt really naked because it's one thing to be in a theater filled with people, but she put me on stage with nobody in the building except her. And she asked me to replay and redo the presentations that I had done that she had witnessed. But she would cut me off and she would correct me. She would ask me to do it in a different way. She would ask me to focus on how I was there, on my body, on my breathing. And it became one of the most intense exercises I think I've ever done. I mean, doing a presentation is something that I do for a living. This is something that I do routinely. But being there, constantly confronted with the reality, with the feedback, with the constant pressure and possibility to correct was probably one of the most intense 1.5 hours, 2 hours I've ever experienced. Since then, I think I've learned a lot from that experience. The way that I present, use my body, use the body language is something that was clearly something that I got a lot out of that. But maybe the most important is understanding how to relate to an audience, how to talk to an audience, and maybe one of the most interesting things that Ianka's taught me is how to actually let the audience use the tempo of the audience. I was doing presentations, but I was thinking about myself. And one of the things I've learned is that if you have the flow of the audience, you have to be in tune. You need to think about the timing. You need to make sure that when there's a silence, you use the silence. If you do something funny, you let the audience use the potential to actually leverage the joke. It's about finding out what the flow and the timing of an audience is. I still use those lessons every single day when I give presentations, and I want to really thank you for having the opportunity to work with you. Thanks.